Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title, background, and thumbnail, we are talking about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So, give you a little bit of a preference. I'm not the hugest Christopher Nolan fan in the world. I loved Interstellar, and I love Inception. Those are like my two favorite of his. And I'm someone who didn't love Oppenheimer. I thought it was great. I thought it was good, but I don't think it was like the masterpiece that Nolan's made. And I'm even one of those crazy people that think the Dark Knight trilogy is a little bit overrated. Like I love Batman Begins. That's my favorite out of that trilogy. But Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises are just meh. If you want to hear my actual like in-depth thoughts, I did many, many, many years ago when this channel was even shittier than it is now. I did the whole entire Dark Knight trilogy leading up to the Batman. So if you want to check out my thoughts on that, that is way down the pipeline, way back in the pipeline. But if you want to check it out, they are there. So like I wasn't too excited for this film. Like I knew it was going to be great. I mean, Nolan is like I can never ever say Nolan's a bad director, even though he has not made films that I personally loved, like Tenet. I think Tenet is his worst film by far. But he makes quality films. He makes original films. And like I said, I do love some of his work. Interstellar and Inception are some of my favorites. When they announced that he was going to make the Odyssey, I'm like, okay, I don't really know much about the ancient, Greek mythology. That's never really been my thing. I'm not really much of a history person. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know what that is really. Like, I know what it is, but I'm not like well versed and knowledged into the Odyssey lore, Homer's Odyssey. So I'm like, okay, I'm just like, it's gonna be like 300. It's basically gonna be Christopher Nolan's 300. It's just like really epic, ancient Rome kind of period piece movie. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to see that film. Like, it's gonna be a fun film. I didn't expect I did not expect going into this film that I was going to come out the way I did. Now, let me tell you, as someone again who is not a huge Nolan fan, like I'm not sitting here riding his dick and saying he's the best director of all time, because again, he's really not. Like again, I'm not calling him overrated, but he's just not a filmmaker that I'm like, holy shit, this dude can do no wrong. Walking out of the Odyssey, I gotta say, I'm actually blown away. This movie was great. This movie was honestly amazing, and I don't use this word often. I think I've only maybe used this word twice on the channel, maybe one time. But honestly, this may be a masterpiece, and I mean that in the sense of I use the word masterpiece in the sense of if I can watch your film and there's no plot holes, there's no things I would change, there's no scenes I would cut, there's no nothing that I would fix, that's a masterpiece in my opinion. The only other masterpiece movie that I think I've given that title to is The Batman, because to me that is a perfect film. I would never change a single frame of The Batman, and it's no different with The Odyssey. I think this movie is shot beautifully. I mean, it's IMAX cameras. It's gonna be shot beautifully, but the actual depth of field that he captures in the camera, not only in the action sequences, not only in the landscape, not only just in general, just these like even when they're a character are walking. Like there's a shot with Tom Holland and John Berthal, and they're just like walking while just like shooting arrows. It is just gorgeous to look at. This movie is just gorgeous to look at. I mean, again, it's on IMAX camera, so it's bound to happen, but it is just gorgeous to look at. To not only the storytelling. Again, this is not my thing. I am not a ancient Greek mythology person. That is not my era. I don't really like much of history. So it's one of those where I'm like, I was so enriched with the story. You're getting someone who doesn't really care about history and doesn't really care about that time period. You're even enriching me into the story, being like, this is fucking good. The thing is too, since I'm not really well versed in all these characters and their names off the top of my head, I'm gonna refer to them to the actors. So if I call them the actors and not their human names or their Greek names or whatever, fucking deal with it. Cause I can't remember names for shit. So when you get like Tom Holland's character, for instance, where again Tom Holland directly, like just looking at his work, he hasn't done much other than Spider-Man. I remember even there for a time he was trying to get out of the Spider-Man persona, because again he was only known for the quirky, hey, I'm Spider-Man kind of guy. So it was really interesting to be like, oh my god, he's like a co-lead essentially next to Matt Damon in this movie, and he's fucking awesome in the movie. Like he's acting his ass off in the movie. And I think now after this movie, he's going to get a lot more serious roles, because his acting in this movie was fucking phenomenal. Everybody's acting. It's a Nolan film. Everybody's going to be at their top notch. Even actors who are already performing at a 10 or an 11 in other movies is going to be cranked up to 15, because it's a fucking Nolan film. So, like, I enjoyed all the characters because, again, I don't know any of these characters. I don't have any attachments to them. I enjoyed all the characters. Every single one I thought had a purpose of the story, was written beautifully. There was no character outside of Robert Pattinson's that I was like, you're purposely supposed to hate him. That I was like, you're not interesting. You're boring. You're not this. Everyone had their own roles. Everyone had their own little things going on that I'm interested. Every time we cut back to another storyline that wasn't, a Matt Damon and wasn't, Odysseus, I was like still enthralled. I was still engaged. And I'm like, yes, dude, yes, like, okay. Like, and of course there's certain moments that I'm like, oh, go back to Matt Damon, please. Oh, go back to Tom Holland. Oh my God, go back. I want to go back because of this movie. That's the thing too. And then this is what I love about Nolan. Some of my favorite films from Nolan are told in a non-linear story. I mean, that's why you would think I would have loved Tenet because that movie's like just backwards the movie. But I fucking hated it for that exact reason because it didn't fit. But Nolan's always really great about telling a non-linear story. And I think this movie had the perfect like story to be nonlinear and be like, yes, I'm engaged. Because every time we would learn something, we would cut back to how they learned it. Every time we didn't understand something, we would cut back to why we understand it. And it just the way it's told is so beautifully. And I'm not gonna lie, the first 10 minutes or so, I wasn't on board 100%. I wasn't into it. I was like, okay, this is dragging its feet. This is a little slow. Is this how the fucking whole film's gonna be? But it's about the 15-minute mark, maybe a little bit 20. Let's just push it to 20. Around the 15 to 20-minute mark was when I was like, oh, we're into something. Ooh, we're into something now. This is actually getting good. And then from there on, it was just I didn't want this fucking thing to end. It didn't feel like 3 hours. It didn't feel like I sat there for 3 hours and watched this film. It just felt like I was in an experience because it's the movie. The pacing is just it's beautifully paced. It is beautifully paced. Like again, there are some slow moments, but those slow moments, even because those slow moments are even built up because of the action set pieces, because of where we've gone. Every set piece from the Cyclops to this, to this, to this, all connect so interesting and so organically that even the slow scenes of them talking in between those scenes, you're still hooked like it's an action scene because you're so enthralled with the dialogue and you're so enthralled with these characters. And it's like, mm, again, it's one of those you're talking to someone who's not a big Nolan dude, and I'm talking this highly about his film. Like, I can only imagine how a Nolan fan feels right now because they're like on cloud fucking nine. And I did see it in IMAX. I didn't see it in the 70 millimeter IMAX, but I did see it in IMAX, and it fucking looked gorgeous. It looked great. It looked great in IMAX. But this was a film that, as soon as it ended, I wanted to so badly go see it again, and I have plans to go see it again because I want to experience it one more time. And that's how I am with like that's how I was with Inception when I watched it for the first time many years ago. I immediately watched it a second time a couple days later. Same thing with Interstellar. I just movies like that are told in a non-linear fashion. You get the whole story the first time, and you're like, "That's a really good fucking film." And then you watch it a second time. That's when to me it becomes like because now you know everything. Now you know how the whole A to Z, the whole movie is laid out, and it's just even better on a second rewatch. So if I'm already feeling this way now and willing to give it that masterpiece card on the first watch, I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna feel when I watch it the second time here in a couple of days? But I gotta say, what really surprised me about this movie, because Nolan, he likes to make everything grounded. He likes to make everything realistic, and to some degree that hurts him, and to some degree it works. For me, it doesn't work as much in the Dark Knight trilogy because of the simple fact that I prefer, like, I don't mind grounded with Batman, but I don't want too grounded. I like that nice little even walk line, kind of like how we have in the Batman so far. And so I was like, all right, I understand enough about the Odyssey to know it's a little fantastical. You get Cyclops, you get, Medusas, and you get these ancient gods. Like, is he going to go there? Or is he going to kind of scale it back to make it too realistic where we don't get these fantasy things? We don't get these obscure fantasy things in the movie. And he shocked me. He genuinely shocked me because he went there. He genuinely went there with some scenes that are like straight out of a horror film. Like I'm not going to spoil it, but there's one scene involving a witch. And that's all I'll say about that. That thing was the most body horror I've seen body horror in a long time. And it was like, holy shit, Nolan went there. Even to like, I'm not saying they show gods because they don't show any of the gods, but they get so close to showing the gods in their own way that it's like, oh shit, he's going there. He's actually going the fantastical route. That's what shocked me about Nolan because he was not afraid to actually adapt the story of the Odyssey. I know, again, that's like crazy, obviously, but no, it's because Nolan is such a director that sticks so realistic that it's sometimes you don't know if he's going to go there with the fantastical elements. And I'm glad he did in this film because I think it worked beautifully. When you get sirens or you get other mythical creatures from the lore, you actually are like, okay, like he actually full went there. So I was appreciative of that as someone who doesn't mind a little bit of fantasy. I'm glad Nolan went there. Same thing with like I gotta talk about the Cyclops sequence. That's gonna be the one thing everybody talks about. That was awesome. It was so awesome to see a practical Cyclops, and I think I don't know much. I didn't read up on the making of or anything, but I think that's supposed to be an animatronic. I think it's supposed to be like a 3,000 foot animatronic or something. Like it's supposed to be an animatronic. If it's not an animatronic and that's just a dude in a suit, that is like beautiful CGI because holy shit, it looks seamless. But that whole sequence with the Cyclops was just so like it almost reminded me in a way of like a scene from an early 80s horror film where it felt low budget, but obviously, this is Nolan, they have the budget, but it felt almost low budget in the sense of we want to keep the Cyclops in the shadows. We want to make sure, we don't want him popping out and grabbing the most especially when we're in this cave and it's such a dark lit area already as it is. It just felt like it felt like a scene you'd see out of an 80s horror film of just this monster coming out of the shadows grabbing fucking people and eating them and shit. And it was so tense. It was so fucking tense. Like I can only imagine if like because again I didn't see it in 70 millimeters, so I don't know if there's any difference between that and IMAX in terms of the scale. But the IMAX screen I saw it, it was pretty damn fucking big. And the way they shot the Cyclops made him feel even bigger on the IMAX screen. It was just and I gotta say too, the fucking sound design. Like I don't know if if my IMAX screening had Dolby. I'd like to see it in Dolby just because I've heard Dolby has really good sound quality for their theaters. But the sound quality, like you could feel like some of the scenes, like there was a scene. I don't remember the actual details of it, but there was a scene involving like water, and in terms of like just really bad like water and wind kind of thing, and you could feel every time the water hits the fucking boat and they're rocking and they're in a fucking storm and shit. You can feel that shit like in like the base of the fucking sound. You can feel it in your fucking chest. Last time I felt something like that in theater was the Batman, when the Batman started his fucking engine. I could feel that shit in my fucking chest. I haven't felt like that since that movie in terms of just sound design. And even the Cyclops, like the Cyclops makes some noise and that shit is like ear piercingly scary because you're like, holy shit, that's what that thing sounds like with its eye vagina. That's crazy. And so yeah, just the sound design is on point. I mean, everything's on point in this movie. Like honestly, like there's not a thing in the movie that it's like, oh, that's a technical flaw. That's not the greatest. This is like it's truly, in the words, a masterpiece. And do I think it's Nolan's best film? Not for me personally. No. I think Interstellar or Inception, like those two teeter out just because they both have like sci-fi and I love sci-fi. And so they both have sci-fi elements that I love. Like Inception's about time bending and mind shit, and Interstellar's like space and time travel and shit. Like they're both playing in realms and playgrounds that I really like to be a part of. And the Odyssey, again, for someone who doesn't love that time period, like I haven't even watched Game of Thrones because I don't fucking really care about medieval shit. Like I don't care for that time period or any other like old time period even before them. Even I'm like, I fucking love this. I love this. Like I know this is, the Odyssey, and I know this is that, Greek time period, but I'm like, I want to be in this world. I love this little world that Nolan created with the Odyssey. Like I'm engaged. I'm enthralled. I would say my two favorite scenes from this whole fucking film, like, or not even scenes, just set pieces, are The Witch. I think that's my absolute favorite, just because of the absolute body horror that came from that scene, and the Hades sequence. Just the way that was shot, just the whole camera placement and just the whole feeling of the Hades sequence. It's just so like it was beautiful. And I know there's some controversy about some castings, with Elliot Page and her name. I can't remember her name. I can't remember the other girl's actress, but there's some controversy about some castings. Again, I'm not a historian buff. I'm not someone who really gave a shit. I'm just like I just want to see the movie. So for me, they didn't bother me. The controversial castings, they didn't bother me. And even if they are a bothersome to some people, they're in the film 5 fucking minutes. Elliot Page is in the movie for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. The other character, she's in it maybe 6 minutes. Maybe 6 minutes. Like it's a 3 hour fucking film, and or 7, 8 minutes of the film is occupied by those people, I think you're good. But it didn't bother me personally, just because I didn't really give a fuck about the controversies in the first place. And two, I wasn't really there for their characters. I'm here for, Odessian and Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland and John Berthal. Like, I'm here for these other characters, not for Elliot Page and the other chick. I'm sorry. I'm just not. So again, even that didn't bother me. The whole controversial casting shit. And even then, I don't know who was waiting for this movie to hate and who was sitting here being like, yeah, fucking I hate this movie. I don't even know how a hater could watch this movie and be like, oh shit, yeah. Like, I feel like he would take his words back because that movie's this damn good. Like genuinely, like, I was gonna get on here last night when I saw it and like rant and rave about it and just like really like, fucking explode of excitement about it. But I was like, I want to sit on it because I don't want to sit here and let my excitement and let my like, feelings take control. I want to actually sit on it. And so I sat on it, and all day today I just been seeing scenes from the film, been like trying to find, because they haven't released the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is fucking, oh, so good. But I've been trying to listen to clips that are like very similar to the Odyssey soundtrack, trying to get in my mind. Like, I've been just all day, the Odyssey's been living in my head rent free, and I'm like, dude, that's how you know I fucking really enjoyed this film, when it's been sitting in my head all day, and I'm just like, I'm already looking on my fucking AMC, like, when's the next IMAX showing I can possibly go see tomorrow or Monday, or trying to find another time to go see the Odyssey, because I really want to fucking see it again because it was that fucking good. And I haven't felt this way about a movie in a long time. Like, in a long, long time. And I'm like, oh, it's such a nice feeling to have a movie like that when you're just excited to see it again because it's just such a good film. You're excited to be in the fucking universe again. So, and honestly, I was someone who was kind of like, did Oppenheimer really need the best picture? Like, there was films that year that came out that I remember I liked more than the Odyssey or more than Oppenheimer. And so I was like, does Oppenheimer really need best picture? Does it really need that? I think it's a little overhyped. This film, I'm like, no, it needs best picture. It needs best picture. It is that fucking good. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna sweep the fucking Academy. I'm sure Matt Damon's gonna get a fucking best actor nod. I'm sure Anne Hathaway's gonna get a best supporting actress. I would honestly be shocked if Tom Holland did. Honestly. But I honestly would not be shocked if he didn't, just because of the simple fact that he is that damn good in this film. But yeah, guys, I mean, if this review, or if you haven't yourself seen it, please go see the Odyssey. It is that good. And again, you're talking to someone who's not a Nolan dick writer, who's not, oh my god, everything he touches is fucking golden. No. But I tell you what, though, now I'm like, all right, Nolan, you got my full attention. What are you making next? Because now you have my full attention. Like, I'm on board. I was already on board anyways because I like you as a director, but now I'm like, what you got? What you got, Nolan? And I tell you, bro, that third act is some of the most like heart pumping fucking, yeah. Like, I'm surprised my theater didn't stand up and we all just like, did the fuck. Surprised we didn't do that shit because it was such a blood pumping, I'm ready, get me fucking going, Captain Kirk, like, let's go kind of thing. Like, it was hyped as shit. So yeah, guys, that's just me gushing about the Odyssey. If you haven't, or if you have seen it, get down in the comments. You guys let me know. And I'm hoping, and this is no promises, but I'm hoping maybe I can do a like actual spoiler conversation with someone else that's been on the channel. If you've seen my Star Wars ranking, or possibly go back and watch my Dark Knight trilogy of conversations, my buddy Sean, he may join me for my spoiler conversations. Not fully confirmed, but you know, he may be on the channel. We can talk about the Odyssey. But yeah, that is my thing on the Odyssey. But before we go, I have one thing I want to show you guys. So, and I haven't opened this, so I don't know what it looks like or anything. But last night at the AMC, they were giving out these posters. They were giving out these big ass posters, and I didn't know what movie it was for until I got my Odyssey ticket. And they were like, "You want a poster?" I'm like, "Oh, that's what the posters are for." Because I kept seeing people walk out of the theater when I was walking in with these huge ass posters. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna open it here in my Odyssey video here and see what it is, because I don't know what the fucking poster could be. I wonder if it's like the Trojan, if it's like the Trojan horse, or if it's like, oh, that'd be dope if it was the fucking dead Roman people, like Hades's thing. That'd be cool. But let's see. Ooh, oh, upside down. Oh shit. Oh wow. Oh, it's that fucking dude. Those guys, I didn't even mention them, Those guys were fucking terrifying in the film. Those white soldier things. Oh my god. Dude, that's badass. That's a badass poster, bro. That's a big poster too. I'm gonna have to find some wall space back here. Holy shit. But yeah, dude. Yeah, that is a dope ass poster. I'm going to definitely keep that in frame. It's somewhere back there. But yeah, guys, that was a badass poster. I'm definitely going to hang that up and put it back here in the background somewhere. But yeah, guys, you guys jump in the comments. You let me know. Have you seen the Odyssey? Were you skeptical about seeing the Odyssey? Or you like me? You fucking love the Odyssey. You jump on that. You guys jump down in the comments and you let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.